Hello everyone.
Hello.
So we are doing a guest spot for Coffee with Crones today, and we're here at Exhale with Nicola Garrett in her lovely massage therapy studio, and we've come to talk to her today and find out a little bit about her practices and her journey as a crone. So yesterday was Mother's Day, so to all the mums, happy Mother's Day. And who better than Nicola, who is a mother of 7 beautiful children, to have as a guest today. So yeah, we're going to just open up the conversation and see where it goes. You are what I would consider an expert on menopause and spend a lot of time guiding women through it. So yeah, it'd be lovely to touch on that as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about your journey. I know you've owned a bookshop and whatnot, so...
I went to university and then I didn't use my degree. I had homeschooled 7 children on and off, and I have had various businesses over the years, like a bookshop and some catering, a cafe, things like that. But I've been here in this building, this beautiful building, for over a decade. And I have a real interest in women's health, in all things menstrual, premenstrual, pregnancy, menopause, and I really believe in trying to create a body that's nourished and move away from the kind of we've got to treat, we've got to detox, and we've got to punish the body. I trained many years ago as a green witch with Susan Weed, and she really teaches about just focusing on nourishment and what you're adding to the body rather than treating it in a medical format. And rather than kind of constantly cleansing it and thinking it's not enough, just thinking in terms of how a wise woman would nourish herself and others around her.
It's interesting because now it's springtime and everyone's going, oh, it's spring, we've got a detox.
I mean, there is sometimes people have a specific problem, like you might need a gallbladder cleanse, or you might know that you've let your diet slide to the point where you need a little bit of cleaning up. But I think it's good to have in your mind the paradigm of just bringing in nourishment, because otherwise it's quite... can you say masculine or reductionist? There's something about just wanting to act upon a body, and even the term detox I think is quite a bad term. Detoxing, as if you are as if your body's toxic. I think always thinking of it perhaps maybe needing more nourishment than needing to take the toxicness away from a woman's body.
Yeah.
And I think that when I did my gallbladder cleansing detox, I had not been nourishing my body, and that's why I ended up with that. So if I had have been nourishing it in the beginning, I wouldn't have had to do that. And I think the whole concept of, at the moment, lots of women in menopause are finding ice baths and very cold swimming good. And I think that can be good for certain people, but I think if you are someone who's quite sensitive to cortisol, and certainly there's a lot of things in Chinese medicine and Mayan medicine that would say it's not a particularly good idea to put yourself in a really cold environment for too long. It's not good on your reproductive organs. Mm-hmm. And again, that I think it suits men better. I think it suits men fine to plunge themselves in an ice bath for a long time. I think we're very... lots of women's bodies are cortisol sensitive, and I think putting it under massive stress as if that's strengthening us, I'm really suspicious of to a certain extent. And I know it really suits some people. I know lots of people it suits, but there's other people who shouldn't need to push themselves that far to reach good health. I think we can do it gently, with gentleness. Rather than kind of like got to go through that 20-minute ice bath or whatever, and get to the other side, and I'll be, I'll have pushed my body through bad stuff to good stuff. I just don't know if it's a wise woman way to think about your body. Can you explain a bit more about the cortisol?
It's a bit of a fad at the moment. And a trend on people's feeds, this cortisol thing. So, and I haven't done enough reading on it. I'm trying to improve my levels, but I'm not 100% sure.
I haven't done lots of research on it. I'm kind of being guided by my own body's intuition to avoid cortisol. And I think if you feel you might have neurodivergent traits, and I certainly run quite high and low on energy, and I notice a lot of women into middle age start to feel quite over adrenalized, as if they've got adrenal burnout. I meet a lot of women who've worked very hard for many years and sacrificed themselves to a certain extent, and they are reaching places of depletion of their adrenal systems. So there's so many herbs that can help us. I mean, you'd know more than me about that. So many herbs that can help us with adrenal fatigue. But I think avoiding things that we think no pain, no gain, actually apart from strength and conditioning, which is vital for the no pain, no gain, you know, a little bit of muscle mass is important. Yeah. But I think there's certain things where we're better to think, will that put me into cortisol? And if so, how will my body cope with that? And then avoiding it. And again, you're a proponent of self-care, and that's exactly what we should be thinking of. Pushing, nurture. Starting to teach young girls, never mind pushing yourselves all the time. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Self-care when you're bleeding completely. Self-care when you're going through odd menopausal symptoms, away from cortisol. I don't think there's any place for cortisol. There's some place sometimes for a bit of adrenaline and a bit of dopamine to keep us going, especially for self-employed. But I don't think there's much place for cortisol.
So can you explain, because I've heard of the word cortisol, I don't have a clue what it is or what it is.
It's a stress hormone. It's a stress hormone.
Oh, okay.
And things, I know that things like adrenaline and cortisol are very counterproductive. It's very hard to produce things like oxytocin and the feel-good hormones if we're producing the other ones. And of course, a sign that we've had too much cortisol in our lives, unfortunately, is a belly. They say the cortisol belly, don't they?
I think I've experienced.
I think I experienced that definitely.
It's the belly.
Yeah.
It's bad smells under the arms.
Yes.
If you've got and for some time I've been detoxing my armpits with activated charcoal, bentonite clay, apple cider vinegar, and cleaning my armpits, because I just get, because I don't use deodorant, and I've never needed to use deodorant because I'm clean. I'm like, and I thought, what is this smell?
You're right,
never
cortisol.
smelled. And then I came across, while scrolling, as you do, I came across this thing on, have you got smelly armpits, this belly,
breath as well.
The breath. There were a couple of things. Your cortisol levels might be out. I thought, oh, right. Probably ticked about 3 or 4 on the list. I thought, right, it's my cortisol levels, and I've just not even been aware, because I have been pushing myself. Yeah. Like you do when you're self-employed. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be doing that. So going into the next couple of months, I haven't even, until our retreat in August, I haven't put any new events on. I'm not doing it. Doing the shop, doing my thing. I'm not doing any more. So I'm much more aware. But somehow sunshine affects it as well.
Yes, and vitamin D levels and things,
your
apparently.
Vitamin D levels.
And so lymphatic drainage, and how your lymph's moving.
Yeah.
So in what way does the sun affect it? Good.
If you haven't had enough sunshine, your cortisol levels can be out.
I've been following some people who have done PhDs in sunshine and what it's doing to the body, and I was reading, and I've read a few times, don't wear sunglasses in full sun, because your body will burn more, because your body the sun needs to hit the back of the retina so that it can then start to produce the things it needs to produce, both to get vitamin D and to protect you from sunburn.
And also part of my training with a certain school in meditation was we had to blue sky gazing, blue sky sun gazing. Yes. And it's an extremely solar blue light is extremely healing to the body, and you've got to get it in your eyes. So I've stopped. unless I'm really out on my holidays and that where the sun is really intense, I've stopped wearing my sunglasses just sort of every day.
Yeah, same. And on that,
And people, you think of sunscreen, you think of sunglasses. Those things only came in much later.
yeah.
And we're now putting sunglasses on our children. We're putting
Yeah.
sunscreen, slathering them in it.
Yeah.
So their skins can't naturally
We're saying to the body,
figure things out.
sunglasses are saying to the body, I'm in darkness, and yet the skin's being exposed to all that
Yeah.
ultraviolet light.
Doesn't make sense, does it? That's what I was going to say about sunscreen as well. How
Yeah.
dodgy
I'm not
it
happy
is.
about the ingredients of sunscreen.
No, it's awful.
Raspberry oil has the highest density or whatever level of sunscreen naturally.
Carrot as well. I use
Coconut
raspberry and
oil is
carrot.
about 4.
Mm-hmm.
Raspberry's about 18
Wow.
naturally.
Yeah.
Carrot, I'm not sure of what carrot is.
And a bit of zinc.
percentage.
I always put a bit of zinc in it.
Oh,
Zinc powder.
yeah.
Yeah.
I use coconut oil with a bit of lavender in.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, for burn, yeah,
burn.
lavender's
Oh.
good.
Because of my red hair, I
Right.
do burn quite
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
lovely tough African skin.
Oh.
And while we're talking about this, ladies, because we can, and I know Nicola will love this, Yoni sunbathing.
Yes.
That's becoming very
And anus
popular.
sunbathing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have read
Yeah.
about it.
I have always, without knowing the background I've always, well, I like to be nudie anyway.
Yes,
I'm a bit of a
yeah.
naturalist.
Yeah.
I've always loved to lay in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's
It
a nice
just feels
feeling. It
good.
feels right, doesn't it?
It just feels good.
Yeah.
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 So I've always done it.
Yeah.
I find it tricky because we're in a terrace and the tiny little things. So last year I hung up loads of sheets.
You'll
on
have
the
to come to
washing
mine
line.
and tell me
Yeah.
not to come in the backyard.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even if you're upstairs and the sun's coming through the window, just to
lie on your
Yeah.
bed.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've always loved to do it.
Yeah. No, I think it feels lovely to just
Yeah.
feel the skin all over the body, the
So
sun all over the
nice.
body. Yeah. Yeah.
There's something really healing about it. isn't there?
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
comforting.
But I think again, I'm not going to go on one, but I think again it's one of those things that they've brought in to stop us being natural and healing, and something else to make money
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you were talking about before about not being harsh with your body and all that kind of stuff, and it's almost like all these things that get brought in to be fearful.
Yeah.
Fear
Well,
of
there's a
sun,
lot. There's big
fear-
campaigns against for
Yeah.
protecting yourself from the sun.
Yeah.
Big campaigns always have been. I've never used. I've always my skin burns on the face, so I've never ever used a bought sunscreen. I've always made my own, even before all these claims came out that they've got a lot of toxins in. Yeah, and you do wonder why when you see children that are covered in chemicals from head to toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you use raspberry?
I do a blend and I put raspberry and carrot in it, a bit of coconut in it, and I put a bit of zinc oxide in it, sometimes a bit of wheat germ, and just blend it all together and make a lovely paste.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and yeah, I have to put it on my face because as soon as I go in the sun, my face burns. Yeah.
I got an old granny visor to wear. I look ridiculous in it, but I don't care because it stops my
Yes,
forehead burning.
yeah. I've always used it on my kids, and we tested it on my son's back. My son, the way you can put different things on, and mine worked the best. Even my kids were skeptical until they saw that his was white under where I'd put my cream.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Apparently all sorts of things. Even the diet you're taking affects your sun type. It affects how much you can burn, doesn't it? Mm.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I come to you for massage, and you talked a bit before about the lymph
Yes.
drainage.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit more about that, Nicola?
Yeah, I think that when we were hunter-gatherers, we moved all the time. Not running, not sprinting, but we did move a lot, and that helps our lymph to move. And now that we're quite sedentary, I think it can encourage our lymph to be a bit more sluggish, driving, even just sitting watching the TV or on the computer or working. We're not moving our body. And we've got these great areas in our body, like this left side here, where loads of our lymph drains out through our liver, where it's really good. Anyone can do a little bit of self-massage and help to drain your lymph. When you're premenstrual or perimenopausal, you can often get a little bit of swelling in the ankles. And so it's really good to either do yourself a little bit of lymphatic here, or in the groin here, or behind the knees, or putting your feet up against the wall, lying with your bottom against the wall with your feet up, really good for draining. It's also really relaxing as well. Yeah. So I do think...
In the Valley Hatha class, everyone does that for 5 minutes.
Nice, yeah.
That's how we finish our class.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
It's just so good for women to do that.
Yeah. And having your feet up quite a bit, rather than down low, I think is good. I don't think driving's good. And flying, for your ankles and things.
Yeah.
So being mindful when you're travelling to just walk. You can't beat it. You can't beat walking, really. Just do a bit more extra walking. And you can feel it. I flew to Bali in the summer and I noticed my feet swelled up. And I thought, well, I'll just have to keep walking a bit more in the layover and things. Yeah. Walk, movement. It's free. It's like herbs. It's free. It's easy. It's accessible. Walk anywhere. Just walk.
Yeah.
It's true. And cleavers are coming out now.
Great,
I love
nice,
cleaver water,
yeah.
Because that mimics the lymph, doesn't it?
That's really cleansing,
Cleaver.
yeah. Birch is great for a lymph cleanse. Here we are talking about cleansers, but you're right. Cleavers is great. Cleans it out.
This time of the year, nettle, cleavers.
Nettles,
Yeah.
Dandelions.
Dandelions.
Yeah.
All the bitter herbs are
Yeah.
really good to drink
Yeah.
now, aren't they?
This is a good time of year. If you're going to get your system ready, I think this is a really good time of year.
I've just done wild garlic pesto.
Oh, nice. Where did you pick the wild garlic?
We've got a little patch just
nice.
down from us. There's a
Nice.
stream and this lovely patch. The bluebells are coming out as well, so you've got to be careful you're not doing bluebells.
Yeah.
And of course, lord and ladies between the garlic. But there's a lovely patch of garlic and
Nice.
just made garlic pesto. Always at this time of year, I just crave that.
Really lovely. It's
Eating green.
at the quarry, at the
Yeah,
Lord's,
Scottish quarry.
It's come out, but it's not quite ready yet. I went there the other day and I was like, oh, come on, I'm ready for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you can smell it before you even see it.
Yeah.
It's lovely,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You had to think, oh, there's wild garlic somewhere. I'll look for it.
Yeah. I was foraging back when I lived in Blackpool. There was a woodland, and I was in there foraging, and these teenage boys and went, "What are you doing picking flowers?" And I was like, "No, this is wild garlic. You can eat it." They were like, "No, you can't." I was like, "Try it. It tastes like garlic." They were proper sceptical, and they had a bit, and they were like, "Whoa!" And you could hear them walking off, going, "Isn't that amazing?"
Oh.
And I thought, "How lovely!" Like
Yeah.
they wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
My favourite is eating the heads as just before they're ready to pop and just eating those heads.
They're delicious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really lovely. So, as you know, I've just got my allotment.
Yes.
So excited. And I've got all nettles and cleavers growing. I'm leaving it all wild at the side. And I want to get some wild garlic to plant under the trees.
I've got a tub of wild garlic in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So, I've got some lemon balm you can have.
Got lemon balm.
Have you got?
Yeah.
That grows
got
great,
some
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Proper
Spreads.
valerian.
Oh,
If you want proper valerian.
Is that purple when it comes out?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've got some of that or not.
Okay. I might have given.
you'll have
I
to
think I've given you a valerian
Did
before.
you? Yeah, I think you did. Is it
Yeah.
wispy? Feathery?
It's feathery leaves.
That
and then
you
it-
did.
yeah,
That's
okay.
what I planted.
Oh.
Yeah, when I said I couldn't remember what it was.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what it was.
Valerian.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for your sleep.
And I'll have some others. To pass on.
Lovely. But I take valerian tincture before I come on noontime. Because
Nice.
it helps with headaches.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes you a bit drowsy. It can help with drowsiness if you need to relax, can't it? I've given it to people who couldn't relax at night time. Yeah.
It's lovely. So
What's she going to do with your
sorry,
nettles?
Eat them, have them in tea, dry them, and then I love the seeds the best.
Yeah.
I put the seeds on all my porridge and everything.
Great for adrenals.
Yeah.
Really good for adrenals. Yeah. And thyroid issues. Yeah.
That's good. And they're full of iron, aren't they?
Yeah. I heard that you can get ink made from nettle as a tattoo ink.
Oh, really?
I thought that would be really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah.
What colour would it be?
It's it's black, dark, so dark green it looks black.
Okay.
But there's some argument that maybe some tattoo inks contribute to a bit of lymphatic clogging, but nettle, because it's totally natural, doesn't.
Well, that's why I have all my issues with all my lumps since I got that done.
Right.
I got that done, and a week later I started to get really bad lumps.
Right.
You know, I've told you
Yeah,
about my lumps before.
yeah,
And that's all to do with
Yeah.
the lymph.
yeah.
And it's whatever, I don't think they use it anymore, but this was like eight years ago. But there was a certain ink that they were using, and the particles of it, the pigment of it, was dense, and it just sit in your lymph.
Went into the lymph system.
And your body's always trying to
Right.
shift it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's look into nettle. We'll get a wise woman nettle tattoo.
And we
Coffee
do
with
it
Crones.
the old-fashioned way.
Yes, with a
poking.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do it?
No.
They look nice. I've seen people come back from Asia with them, and they look really nice sometimes.
I've watched it being done when I was in New Zealand, and I stayed on a marae for a while. And the Maoris, the men have, they have their full ancestry on their legs, and the women have the muku, but the men have it. And I watched they use bone.
Oh.
Yeah. So and I watched them doing the tattoo with the bone. That was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I could sit because it's really slow.
Yeah.
Right.
I bet you could do it, Nicola. You do acupuncture. You've got your dry needle in
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That could be your next
Nettle
thing.
tattoos. I like it. Yeah. I think you need the autistic. The thing is, I'm not. You'd have to do the autistic bit. You'd have to draw it, and I'd have to go for it.
Colouring it, as long as you can colour it.
Yeah. You can make the ink. You can draw the picture, and then I'll put the bone on.
There you go. If you want a nettle tattoo, exclusive.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So what would you like to share with our lovely audience? They're all over the world, and they're all mainly women. I think we have a few men, but mainly women. What wisdom would you like to share?
Gosh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Well, the thing that I have been working on, actually, it's similar to what you two were mentioning it before, is working with your own intuition. And I have noticed that once you have, for example, I do body work, and now that I have massaged over perhaps 20,000 people, I've noticed that working with my own intuition is the way to facilitate healing, people healing themselves. I wouldn't like to say I was healing them. I am aiding them. I'm facilitating them to find the way to heal themselves. And I think if once we start to learn to really lock into what's going on intuitively, I think, because you were mentioning it before, didn't you have something happen to you? Your intuition.
Oh, the letting go.
Yes, yeah.
Go,
But even that, I think that's intuition.
Yeah.
I think you have an intuition what's best. And if you learn to follow it and not get distracted by your own issues and pretend that's intuition, I think that can be a thing as well. I think you can really step into deep intuitive knowledge that helps not only yourself, but helps your community. And I think that's what I see people doing once you reach a certain level of awareness of yourself. Like somatic awareness, what's going on in your body, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. I think you can start to really hone down in whatever is your discipline, whether it's art or herbal healing or whatever. You can really start to dig out absolute nuggets of deep intuitive knowledge. And I'm sure that's partly epigenetic, it's partly coming from memories of maybe ancestors, or certainly, like deep genetic knowledge. And I think that now that we're in a great place in a period of history for women, where we can really make that hugely beneficial for the community. And of course, that's what menopause is. That's what becoming a crone is. It's crystallizing all the things you've learned and all the things you're starting to know, and crystallizing it, and then being able to offer it to people, offer it to your community. I think that's what being a crone. Surely that's what being a crone is.
Yeah, you become in service to the
Yes,
community
yeah.
and sharing. I'm reading the book Haggitude
Oh, it's
by
great.
Sharon Blackie.
Yes.
And I love the way she goes into the alchemical thing, where in order for alchemy to occur, you've got the black stage, the red stage, and the white stage. The black stage is the burning, and she likens menopause symptoms and the fires of menopause to the fires of alchemy. You have to go through the blackening, the burning, to burn everything off, to transform, and then you transform into this person who is in their intuition, who operates from a place that is wisdom, that is a crone, intuition, whatever, and you are in service to others.
Yeah.
And it was always the elder. It's not the old person, it was the elder. It was the revered elders of the community who were in that place of their intuition seat. She calls it something else. It's not the intuition seat. Can't remember, but it's a brilliant book to read because there are these moments in the book that you just go ding, and you just resonate with these, and it just clarifies a lot. It's a good book to read. I think I'm on the third time now. Every time I read it, I read something different.
Yeah. I listened to it on Audible, but now you're talking about it, I want to go and listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The medial woman. The medicine woman. The healer.
When you were at school, was any of this encouraged or mentioned? It was.
We didn't have the role models.
No.
If you think of it, there were no older woman role models. The
Mentors.
role models and the people you looked up to at school were the young, glamour, fashion people.
Pop stars.
Yeah, pop stars. Hollywood is changing in that there are now Diane Keatons and other sort of personalities like that, celebrities and whatnot, who you are able to look up to maybe.
Yes.
But I mean, if you think before Oprah, who was there on our TV screens as an older woman who you could go, wow.
And I think that goes hand in hand as well, Hollywood, with wanting to preserve youth. There aren't that many women out there going, I haven't had loads and loads of work done because actually this is the way I am, this is where my body's aging, this is where my skin goes, this is where my collagen's gone. And
south.
Yeah. But
deep south.
But you don't see that many people that have just that have rejoiced in being an aging woman.
And they get worse and worse because the more work they've done, the more uglier they become.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I'm not going to name names, but have you seen Book Club 2?
No, is it a movie?
Yes.
Oh.
I know.
Oh dear.
You'll know who I'm talking about. Sad.
Yeah, so sad. So sad. Because before, they're quite beautiful anyway.
Yeah.
And why would you have to be...
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're in your 80s, 90s, going on,
It is sad, isn't it?
And
I don't think
rejoicing in our bodies changing.
There's the nurturing and the nourishing element. So if you're nurturing and nourishing yourself, there's that spark to you. There's that natural glow, that beauty that's within.
Yeah.
So more than that, you shouldn't be...
Yeah.
I mean, I like my makeup and I like a bit of bright lippy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's an embellishment. It's not avoiding what's happening to us. Yeah. But now that we've got social media and Instagram, I do sometimes think of women in their early 20s and think, I hope they don't just think they're letting themselves down by aging.
Yeah. It's sad, isn't it? A girl sent me a thing on Instagram the other day. She was like, hi, blah, 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 whatever she said. And then sent me a picture of her in her underwear. And I said, why have you sent me a picture of you in your underwear?
Yeah.
You in her profile it said she was 19. I said, as a woman that's 48, let me give you some wisdom, love.
Yeah.
So I gave her all this wisdom.
Yeah.
But why
And then
did she
she
send
went,
it
oh
to
my
you?
God, I thought you was a guy. I've got mixed up.
Oh.
And I said, well, you don't be sending pictures of random guys on the internet.
Mm.
You in your underwear. What about your brains? What about, what about your
Your
talents?
kindness and your
gifts?
talents, yes,
All
yeah.
the other things you've got to offer the world.
Yeah.
So she thought you were a man.
Yeah.
Mm.
And got mixed up and sent it to me instead.
Serendipity
And I just thought,
that she got you.
Yeah, and then she was like, thanks for being so kind. And I was just like, but I wish that people knew there was more than just this.
Yeah.
Because it does change.
Yeah, and you can still, there's a lot of arguments as well that women really hit their sexual peaks in middle age. You get better orgasms, you enjoy your body more, you have better sex when you are older than a lot of the media would like to think of us as doing. And I think that we can really, again, tap into our sensual natures. We're not going to get pregnant because we've had the menopause. And so we can really enjoy our bodies in a way that we didn't
I just
didn't
don't
before.
want to.
Yes,
At the
yes,
moment,
yeah,
I'm
no.
just not there.
And that's a valid argument as well. Yeah.
Just can't.
Yeah. And I think I read that once you completely get over that period of the menopause where your hormones are still somewhat changing, then once you reach more of a stability, sometimes you can have a bit of a second wave.
Now. I've been in menopause 9 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my mum's still going through it, and she's well into her 80s.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the doctor keeps saying to her, oh, you're nearly through it. So she's just...
It must be something different.
Can't be in her 80s, surely. Is that what the doctor said?
Mm.
Uh-huh. And what does she do? Do they give her HRT?
I'm not sure what she does. She doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, well, that generation didn't.
Doesn't talk about it. But I've tried everything. And then I'll sort it out. So if I take lion's mane, ashwagandha, then the night sweats go. As soon as I stop those, the night sweats come again. So I'm up and down. But
Yeah.
But the fatigue is a big thing. But I think my cortisol levels are to answer for that.
Might be many years of working for yourself.
Because it's stressful.
Yeah.
I've not had a holiday
Yeah.
since last year, June. So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I also think when you're self-employed, even when you're off, it's much harder to switch off than if someone's just handing you a salary.
Yeah. You don't get a day off
No.
when you're self-employed.
Yeah, I've just had a weekend in Wales with my daughters, and I had to check my phone to respond to clients a few times.
Yeah.
Well, could have not done, but actually there were important ones that I had to do. And I thought, I'd quite like to have not even brought my phone with me.
Yeah.
But some people do need you sometimes. But I think that the ability to be able to just leave it all behind completely because you're not self-employed and you're not needing to worry about your marketing or your projected earnings for the next month or things you're doing with the business can be better for your stress levels. But on the flip side is it's more rewarding because it's your creative process.
And you've got more freedom, time freedom.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't actually give it up because of that, because you have got your own, you've got freedom, and you've got freedom to experiment with new things and try new things, and to a certain extent, a lot of the work I do, I'm traveling with my clients through a journey. I'm like, whoa, I'm learning this. Would you like to learn it with me? In fact, we've all got that, haven't we? To a great extent, learning with people and kind of. Not dispensing wisdom, but saying, should we learn this together? That's what I really enjoy.
Yeah. I think that's an older thing as well that you learn. I was having a conversation the other day with Jane that was on
Jane Morrissey,
in November, I think. Jane and I were talking the other day about how when you're younger, you think you're a teacher because you've learned this stuff and you're teaching other people stuff. And then you get to this point and you go, actually, I know nothing. Like, I might know bits of this and bits of that, but I don't know anything better than you. Yeah. Like, we're teaching each other. Yeah. We're learning together.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
I'm doing a lot of somatic learning at the moment, and I can never know what you're feeling. So all I can ever do is ask you what you are aware of coming up in you, and that never changes. I'll never be able to tell you how you're feeling or how you should be feeling. And so I think a lot of wisdom is just being aware of what's going on for ourselves, and then sharing it so that people can learn maybe how to interact with you differently, or maybe learn for themselves. That resonates with me. I'll look into that and see if I'm feeling that, see if that triggers me. But I think there's a lot to be said for just going inside and assessing, being absolutely aware of what's really happening internally rather than externally. But what external things are having an effect on us internally. And once you become really aware of it, then you start to really learn your own identity, I think. Really learn individually what you are and what you need. And then communicating it to the people who are really close to you.
Yeah, that's really important. Really important.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if it's a generalisation. Can women do that better than men? Or are men as good at it? Actually, you've both got men who are particularly good at it.
Pretty good at communicating it.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at communicating.
Yeah.
Tom and I have always practiced effective communication, where we're not blaming the other person for something. We're just talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we come up with some compromises or something.
Yeah, that's another thing that should be taught in school.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
happening for me right now, I'm going to explain it to you, rather than... You were introduced to all sorts of concepts in school, like bullying and you're naughty and you've done that, but not much awareness of what you need and what you're experiencing in without any loading, without you've done this to me, I'm blaming you for this, you're at fault because I'm feeling this, but just this is how I'm feeling, full stop. And then you can work together. And that's okay, yeah.
So
and then you can work together.
All emotion is just emotion, and it's just energy in motion.
Yeah.
It's just energy moving through us.
Yeah.
It's in motion, so it's in transit, it'll go, it'll pass.
Yeah.
I always think my dad always used to say, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
This too shall pass.
That's
And
nice.
let's just sit in that, let's just feel that. And we can express it if we want to.
Yeah.
But
it's not, that feeling's not going to be there forever.
it doesn't define me, is it?
Just allow it.
It's just gonna go.
Yeah.
So,
And not to expect the other person to fix you either.
No,
You know, they don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
They
huge.
can just listen.
Yeah.
And that's it.
There's something beautiful about someone who can just hold space while you're expressing where you are, and they just hold space for you. Nothing else. They don't try and fix you or change you or advise you. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's really lovely. I really struggle with the not advising people because I'm like, I know something that might help.
Yeah. I'm a Samaritan, and they train you to be with the person. And it's so interesting. And it's actually really fulfilling, but you do sometimes have to stop yourself going, have you not thought of going to the GP? You know, just something simple. And you don't, you just, in that person's world space, worldview, and you're just with them. And you know what? It's lovely to be with someone like that, isn't it?
yeah.
I thought they were bloody useless when I needed them. And I rang up suicidal, and I was going, well, can you not give me any advice? No. Can you not just answer me? No, I'm just here for you to listen. I know that, but the bloody use of this. I was so annoyed because I wanted somebody to help me.
Yeah.
And then years later I thought, oh, I could be a Samaritan. And then when I looked at that, I was like, no, I couldn't.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way I could keep stuff to myself.
Yeah.
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 So hats off to you.
Each
Nicola.
to their own.
It's a good, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. But there's a place where you want coaching, or you want counselling, or you want feedback, and you want someone to help you look at it objectively, and then have some input. It's definitely a place for that. Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
Go on.
you've also done some training that I like to talk about, because it's not what everyone does, and I think it is time to start talking. So we sort of touched on sort of sexual health and us as sexual sensual beings.
Yeah.
But Nicola's done some really awesome training.
So I'm a sexological body worker. So I can work with all parts of your body, and for people who might have been experiencing dysfunction in their genitals or anywhere else in their body, I can work with that. I can work with scars. I can also work internally and externally with fascia. Fascia is our connective tissue that holds everything together, that should be smooth as silk and liquid-like. And they're now discovering in very modern science that it's got a memory, and that stress, cortisol, traumatic memories affect our connective tissue, affect our fascia, and it starts to tighten and stick. So I work more and more with fascia and allowing it to soften. And yes, some of that work can be intravaginal or even intraanal, where people have all sorts of things have happened to them. You know, if you're post-surgical, sometimes you've got all sorts of things going on. And I've done that, and I'm also now working towards somatic coaching and intimacy coaching, and things like that. And you do find that we've almost cut off part of our body and thought there are certain parts of the body that are not acceptable to work with. But people are walking around with all sorts of problems and dysfunctions in all sorts of areas, and it's nice to think of the body as a whole. And really, again, it's very somatic. It's very about going in and finding how people are feeling and how people are responding to things. And it's a very gentle modality, and it's very slow, and it's very trauma informed, because a lot of work that you do around this area is due to trauma. And that might be explicit trauma, or it could be implicit, as in you can't even remember where the trauma's from, but you're holding something. You know, that could be, who knows, that could be from when you're pre-verbal. So it's the gentlest of modalities. But I do think it's important, because I think we need to take away taboos. And I think, you know, if you have a problem, whatever it is, a pelvic floor problem or something, none of that should be taboo. Yeah. If we're suffering from something innocently, we shouldn't have taboos about all these things. And we should be teaching again from as early on as possible. There are no taboos that are just socially imposed taboos. You know, genitals shouldn't be taboo. We just own genitals. Breasts, we own breasts, and yet they're sexualized. We still get people complaining about breastfeeding in public. That's crazy. They should be. We should be they're just part of our bodies, and they're part of our bodies that we can enjoy. That's the way. Yeah, I think.
You've done Tantra workshops.
Yeah,
as well.
I've done some Tantra training, and I've done some training around dearmoring the body. So sometimes our body. Sometimes our body ends up holding areas of tension, habitually holding certain areas, and so gentle body work and breath work, and again kind of intimacy coaching can help to break down some of the parts of our bodies. Not break down, can help to work on some of the parts of our bodies that perhaps have become armoured, have become very protective and tight and restrictive, so that we can work into the whole body just being released and relaxed. And us really, bottom line, feeling comfortable in ourselves, as ourselves, whatever we are. That's the bottom line. In inhabiting completely our own body.
That's lovely. And you offer couples massage training and things, don't you?
Yes, not that separate from the Tantra and the Sexological. I'm a training school for basic professional massage training, and so it's just like a level 3 diploma, so that you can go on and be a professional massage therapist. But yeah, I also teach couples to massage each other, and I also sometimes just teach one-to-one. Someone will come to me and say, could you just do a day with me, so that I can just do my loved ones. So I do that as well. Yeah. And I also say to them, you can either work on each other, or if you want, I could ask for some volunteer clients, and I get volunteer clients in as the body. which is good
And
fun.
you'll travel as well, won't you?
Oh
to
yes,
teach?
yes.
Yeah.
I live for the day somebody says I'm in Australia or South Africa. Will you come over and do a course? Yeah, no, I'm really happy to travel. Yeah, yeah.
So if you're looking for that,
Yes.
And talking about travelling, Nicola and I have collaborated and are offering a retreat in August. It is the 22nd to the 26th.
In the Lake
and
District.
we're holding it at Glenthorne Guest House in Grasmere in the Lake District. So we're really, really excited about working together. And we have called our retreat Wound to Wisdom. It's a woman's healing retreat. So working on the mother aspect.
Yeah, we'll be touching on our deep relationship with our mother and how that might have affected our ability to love and be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some places left, isn't there?
Yes,
So
yes. We've got a good few places left. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. We will put the link in the Facebook group again and
in the description
on the video.
of this video.
Yeah. So yeah, if you fancy joining Nicola and I in August for our retreat, we'd love you to be there. Yeah.
And we'll be doing things like breath work, things like that as well. won't we?
Meditation, breath work, some somatic movement, gentle movement, and
we'll be getting out into the beautiful area around about that's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll put some videos up as well.
Well, it's been lovely, Nicola.
It's nice to see you both again.
Normally, we'll come in here and I'll just hop on the bed. And they can say, well, just do it.
It's what I'm like.
It's nice to be able to gab with people that you understand and that you can easily chat to, and that we've got lots of places we've been historically that resonate. So it's really nice to talk to people that kind of understand you and have an appreciation of things that aren't particularly mainstream, but that make lots of sense once you get to a certain level of understanding and appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's lovely. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. So our brews are through.
They are.
Our bums aren't numb.
I should have got brew.
Our bums aren't numb because we've had lovely cozy chairs this time.
And we don't have a rhyme because we didn't make one up.
Oh no.
So yeah, we'll see you soon. And our next guest spot is with Barbara Leonard. She is a tarot reader. She spent many hours of study into the tarot. And that's come about because in our Ostara Zoom meeting, one of our ladies who joined us, was it Ruth?
Ruth, yes it was,
That asked about the tarot, and in particular reading cards in context with each other. So we will be doing a guest spot with Barbara where she talks a little bit about the tarot and how to get the best reading from your cards. So yeah, join us for that one next time.
Lovely. And don't forget that we've got a Patreon page where we share
behind
the scenes and other stuff. We get freebies, all the grimoire pages. There's all sorts on there. So we'll pop the link in the description as well.
Yeah, super. So like and subscribe.
Yeah. Until next time. See you soon.
Bye.